Hi there, just a little trigger warning for this episode. My guest and I do talk about sensitive issues such as depression, mental health, and suicide, and thoughts of suicide. Thank you for listening.
Hello, happy hump day, and thank you for tuning in to an all new episode of Stop Faking It podcast. We are on season 2. I am your host, Emily Bracey, also known as on Instagram, Emily E. Bracey Comedy, formerly Ho Gives No Fucks. Hope your 2024 has been fantastic so far and you're not too cold. It's been a little chilly down in Florida, but we are going to get right into it today with my guest. She started as my Insta girl crush, but is so much more than that. She is a reality show personality, Big Brother alumni, podcast host, self-proclaimed Queen of Fort Worth, Texas, and an amazing mental health advocate for all the girlies, Elena Davies. How are you?
The crowd goes wild.
It
Thank you
does.
so much for having me. What a beautiful introduction.
I
Thank
love it.
you.
I love being able to talk up my guests because you guys, you do so much. So I'm like, we gotta get it all out there.
Yeah, gotta give the people some credit. Well, we gotta give you some credit too, because
you.
you're out here making people laugh every day, and it's so
Thank you.
important.
That's all I want to do.
Same, which is
make
I
people
think
laugh.
why we're such fast friends.
Yes. And the ADHD, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, it's comedy and mental health.
100%. That's all we need. That's a recipe for a beautiful life. Okay, so I love to stalk people on the internet, especially the ones who are going to be on my podcast. But then my newer favorite thing is telling you guys what I found on the internet because it's interesting.
Good.
It's always interesting.
Oh, good.
So I found this article about you.
Oh, God.
It says Elena Davies' favorite things to do. Are you ready?
Oh, can't wait.
It's like underwhelming and overwhelming at the same time. So number 1, Instagram.
Okay, that
Number
tracks.
2, listening to live music. So like concerts, they could have just wrote. Yeah. But listening to live music. Napping.
Wow. Okay.
Tailgating.
Okay.
And the last one, my favorite, shaking your booty.
What slow news day did this happen on?
Oh, I have a whole other paragraph to read. You ready for this one?
Yes.
Elena Davies smokes weed every now and then.
I'm sorry, that is false information. I be smoking weed every day.
Every day. She posted a video on her birthday, lighting a joint on her birthday cake in August of 2022. Aside from that, she moderately consumes alcohol. So that's what's on the internet.
Another lie.
It's so hard. I was like, I've never even talked to this girl before, and I know these are false.
Like, I've never met her. We've never chatted. We've never seen each other face to face. But this is how you know that they are putting fake shit on the internet every single day. You can't believe everything you read, people. I am a full-blown alcoholic. I smoke weed all the time.
They need to give you more credit.
To shake my booty. I love to shake my booty.
I know. But yeah, so I mean, that's the bio. That's the one day the eulogy. That's what you're gonna get.
That's what's gonna be on my tombstone, folks.
Love to shake her booty and moderately consume alcohol.
That's it. That's the wrap up of my life.
Oh my God.
That's the conclusion. That's funny. I have been cutting back a little bit, but
on which one?
Mostly
the shaking your booty? Because
no,
I don't.
Good. No. I don't really have plans to cut back on that, but I've been cutting back a little bit on alcohol.
Yeah.
For the old mental health, and then a little bit on smoking weed, but I think it's hilariously just because of laziness. Like I get too high to want to like grind up more weed and like load another bowl.
Yeah.
So like.
Mine is leaving the house to get the weed. That's when I'm like, oh, I'm taking a break this week. My husband's like, you just don't want to drive in a car for 20 minutes. And I'm like, exactly.
So you're taking a tea break.
Exactly. That's it.
But it all comes up. It's all working for the greater good, because the next time you do have the capacity to leave the house and get the weed, bro, you gonna get so high.
Yeah. And it's like cheaper at that point.
Yeah. You're saving money and you're getting higher.
Yeah, I appreciate. I love validating everything.
I'm here. Give me enough words and I'll rationalize anything.
I love that.
Well, semantics.
Elena, before we get on to a game that I specifically made for you, do you want to introduce yourself more?
Really think think you nailed it. Do you have some expectations for me?
No, I have none for myself, so I can't have any for anyone else.
I feel like we did a good job on me. I'm like your typical kind of millennial glow up story. I got my start on the Kid Craddock Morning Show, which is a radio show based here in DFW, Dallas Fort Worth.
Okay, so I got to interject. I thought that was the lie that I read. It said radio host, and I was like, really? But I love that. Tell me more. Not. Tell me more.
That's actually like kind of maybe my favorite part of my story.
Yeah.
Because I grew up as a super fan, maybe not at the time a super fan of the show, but like just you grow up listening to the morning show that you listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not everyone can relate to this, but every day driving to school, you listen to Kid Craddock in the morning and Kelly Raspberry and Big Al and JC. And so that was kind of comforting. And then when I went off to college, I realized what national syndication meant because I was driving around my college town the first week and I was clicking channels and I heard Kid Craddock and it was like a hit on my heart. I was like, home. Oh, it literally like
Honey,
melted in my car. Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was like my little piece of home when I was far away from home at college for the first time. And I grew up in Fort Worth, but in a small school, like K through 12, my whole schooling. I graduated with 26 people.
Oh my
gosh. I am from a little bubble. So me going to away to school in West Texas at a big state college was terrifying to me.
I feel like I have more than 26 cousins. I was just counting. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people do. Like
that's a tiny school.
The anomaly of it is wild. Yeah.
Wow.
And so I did that, moved back home. My like high school college boyfriend ended up breaking up with me. And you thought I was going to die, as we do in our first heartbreak. I think first heartbreaks are always the worst because you literally think you're going to die. You're like imagining the rest of your life being as heartbroken as you are in that moment.
It's that prefrontal cortex that we don't have developed.
And then once you realize that you can get past it, then you're like, oh, I can survive hard things. But I didn't know that I could survive that particular hard thing yet. Yeah. But I noticed when I was driving to work every morning that Kid Craddock that would be my one time a day that it would kind of make me distracted, laugh, smile. So I would put it on at work and I would just kind of surround myself with it more. And I became even more like obsessed with the show and would engage with them on Twitter. And Kid kind of noticed me and brought me into his little, just kind of noticed me. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. I was like, all right, that's it. I've peaked. We're done, folks.
Like Kim Kardashian, who?
Yeah, I'm like, it's literally over for
I
her.
am the celebrity.
Has she not heard that Kid literally knows he followed me on Twitter? Yeah. Okay. Embarrassing. So he ended up dying like suddenly and tragically, which is terrible. Not too long after all of this was happening for me. And I got an opportunity on the radio with them shortly after. I think it was a combination of them not really knowing what to do. They're like, our host died. What do we do? Content. But then also, I guess he had been mentioning, hey, this girl is kind of interesting on Twitter. Like, she's kind of funny. Like, should we use her for some stuff?
Yeah.
And I got my foot in the door, but damn, I kicked it open. And
that's incredible.
I think a lot of my friends and people thought I was crazy. Like, they were like, you're never going to get on this like nationally syndicated major top 5 morning show. It was also being produced to be on TV on Dish Nation every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're never going to do it. And I'm like, tell me I'm not going to do something one more time. Tell me I'm not going to do something one more fucking time.
Yep.
So I did it. And I had to put myself way out of my comfort zone. And I think I come across as this really brazen, bold, confident girl all the time. But it's really easy to be confident around the same 26 people you've known your whole life, right?
Yes.
You know, like when you're in your comfort zone, it's great. It's super easy to be confident. Put me outside my comfort zone and I'm like, Mah.
Yeah.
so it was a scary time for me, but it's a really proud part of my journey for me because I know how much it terrified me, but how much I wanted it and how much I did it. And so yeah, I got hired on as a phone screener and as a part-time on-air personality and got to do that. And it was kind of like my dream job. And that was, I think, how I got noticed for reality TV and got into that space. And
that is incredible.
It's a big, cool, full story moment because now my podcast, the Miscellaneous podcast, is hosted by Kid Craddock's network. So I still have the same like producers and CEOs, like signing my checks and same people that work
like noticing you. You know what I mean?
Still in my life. Yeah.
That is the coolest thing.
I feel like he's like a little angel in my life, like keeping an eye on me. And yeah, I just like, he's like and I never met him in real life. I never got to meet him. And I wish I had, but he probably will never know like how much. I mean, he knows.
You will. Yeah, totally.
But yeah, he's my mentor, my idol, like someone I will always look up to as like a comedian, a performer, just such a cool guy. Coolest guy ever.
To I want to look him up after this. That's awesome.
He's the coolest, and he started a cool charity called Kids and like did so much for that, helping people and their families, sending kids and their families that are terminally and critically and chronically ill to Disney World. And yeah, so it's just the coolest guy ever. And it's like such a fun thing to me that was like my start, and that it kind of came from this like place of heartbreak, even that it happened. And
that's why I made Ho Gives No Fucks.
That is why you made Ho Gives No Fucks, because you got your heart broken.
Yeah. So like,
beautiful things can come from broken things.
100%. Yeah.
Look at us.
I love that. Well, thank you. See, that's the stuff they need on the internet. Those are the facts. And we'll get
These are the facts.
We'll get it out
what
there.
We're doing. Yes. This is our mission. We're important girlies sharing important messages.
Exactly. Okay, so before we get on to that game, actually, I just jotted this down because I was laying in bed last night, Stony Baloney, watching Hot Ones, the like chicken wing interviews. Have you seen those? Right?
I haven't, but I'm like, everyone's getting so into it and talking about it that I'm like, shit, I'll have to do this.
For anyone who doesn't know what it is, it's basically just an interview with a celebrity guest or just a guest. And then they eat 10 wings and every wing gets like progressively hotter. So like I had this idea, if you ever want to collab on a podcast called High Ones, and then we just take a hit and just keep them progressively higher.
Yes.
Why is that not a thing?
Immediately, yes.
Perfect. Okay. I just had to bring that up. It was in my notes. I like scribbled it out. This morning I woke up and I was like, what does that even say?
You're like, hold on, let me get high. I bet I can read it again.
No, 100%. Okay, are you ready to play this game? My husband helped me name it, by the way.
Oh, I'm so ready.
It's called How Many Cream Pies?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so basically, this came to my head when I learned one day how much just like this random celebrity man, how many children he had. And I thought to myself, wow, that's a lot of cream pies. So we're just going to go down a list of some celebrities, and you're going to guess how many children they have in their life, or just have children. Maybe they're not in their life, but have produced children.
Right.
Are you ready to play How Many Cream Pies, Elena?
I'm going to lose, but yes, I am ready to play.
All right. First one, Mick Jagger.
That's giving a lot of cream pies, personally.
Yes.
Right? Like 12 cream pies.
8, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I shot high, but I
did.
Feel like...
I mean, Morning After Pill definitely came into play with him.
And here's the thing also that I would like to say, that I feel like there's a really good chance he's got some cream pies he doesn't know about.
100%. Yeah. This is just what Wikipedia has given me. So I mean,
my answer might be a little bit closer to right than wrong than we all even know.
I'll DM him after and see what he says.
See what he says. I bet I'll get back to you.
100%. Nick Cannon, a favorite of everyone.
I should know because everyone knows.
No one knows, actually, because the number keeps changing.
Right. Yeah, I'm like 27 cream pies.
12.
The actual answer that I said last time. I'm just going to start doubling down.
Okay, Elon Musk.
6 cream pies.
11 cream pies.
What?
I don't know where these came from.
I feel like this needs to be talked about way more.
I swear it was at 6 last year. I swear, but Wikipedia says 11.
How does Nick Cannon have 12 and that's all we're talking about? It's all we're talking about. But Elon Musk has 11 and
there's
no
a couple
one's
more in
discussing
here
it.
that might blow your mind.
Okay.
DMX.
Now I just feel like I have to go crazy. 9.
17.
Stop cream pieing.
We wonder why there's like issues in this economy. There's too many damn children.
At some point, at some point,
pull out.
You have to just realize, God damn, I'm fertile.
Yeah.
And like use a condom.
Just use
or
it. Yeah.
Or get the Julie pill. Or
there's things.
There are tools.
Okay, we have 3 more. Eddie Murphy.
Man, I feel like the numbers are getting higher somehow. I want to say 13.
10.
Okay.
Wow. Akon. There's a blast from the past.
Lock him up. 11.
9. But maybe there are 11. We don't know.
But maybe there are. I'm right about one of these is the thing. And I know it.
This is the last one. Okay. Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Dog the Bounty Hunter. Dog the Bounty Hunter. How many cream pies you got? Come on. I want to know. 7 cream pies.
13.
Dog the Bounty Hunter is a dog.
I know. That was the one that shocked me. Honestly, more than
out
DMX.
There hunting.
Yeah.
More than just bounty.
100%.
He was hunting pussy.
He's busy. Like, where does he have the time?
I can barely get out of bed and these people are impregnating everyone.
I know.
I can't even get pregnant.
And did you see like Nick Cannon had like a different holiday card with like each woman this year? I was like, excuse me, it took me like 17 days, 4 outfits, and like 8 photographers to get one picture with my husband.
I don't have a husband. I don't have a child.
I don't know how I got one, by the way. I'm still bamboozling myself.
I don't have a Christmas card. I didn't even put up a Christmas tree.
Oh, I didn't either. I printed one out and I put a picture and I put it on the wall.
I could have at least done that. That was innovative, and
I'll send
really
you mine.
It's
crinkled up in the trash, but I'll unroll it and I'll send it to you.
Send it to me for next year. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Reuse, recycle. Yeah. So that was How Many Cream Pies. Thank you for being the first guest to play that game.
I loved that game. Honestly, what's sad is I feel like I'm going to spend a lot more time today just looking up other people's cream pies.
That's literally how it started. Was I heard it and I didn't stop staring at my phone for about 6 hours one day. And I was like, this is insane.
This is insane. I must know how many children are like, how is this? Why does this not talked about more?
We're doing it.
We're doing it now.
We're starting it. The real news.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to get on to our main topic today? It's going to be super fun. We should talk about mental illness and depression.
Okay. That sounds really, really fun. I'm so glad you're bringing that up. Yes.
Totally in my comfort zone. But I just want to say before we start talking about it that I'm honestly, we've said it, so grateful for connecting with you on Instagram. Once I started following your page, like you not only have made me feel better dealing with my depression and my mental health, but you have inspired me to start talking about the scary moments more. I used to in the past, but sometimes with me, I know a lot of people probably would relate, but when you like say things out loud, at first you feel like it makes it more real, but then you actually connect and you get those messages of like, thank you for saying this, or, oh my God, I'm dealing with this too. And like, that keeps me posting about it. And you really like seeing your treatments and stuff really, it really inspired me to be more vocal about struggling with depression and bipolar 2. And I know you're making a difference in so many lives.
Oh, that means so much to me. Thank you so much. Because it is true. Like, I feel like I've struggled for a long time and I've shared my journey here and there, but just within the last couple years more, especially few months, have I like been, the last few months, if I'm being honest, like almost took me out.
Yeah.
Like it was I was in a dangerously low place. Like I've never struggled more. I'm 33 years old, own a home, own a business, like, and had my mom living with me.
Yeah.
Every day, my mom in my house.
We love a mom.
Sleeping in my bed with me at night because I am so ridiculous that I have a 3-bedroom home with no extra bedrooms. So like dire times. But I've shared off and on here and there when I struggle. I kind of, it's like you share your life, right?
Yeah.
So like when things are good, I share that. When things are bad, I share that. But I at times kind of lean to sharing more of like making it humorous because that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people do, but that's what we do. We're like, let me make comedy out of trauma or I will melt.
Yes.
And that's how I get by. And then moving on to sharing more like educational types of things where it's just like, man, that's just really good to know for me and for other people just to navigate in the world. But when I started actually kind of pulling the curtain down a little bit more and showing like raw, real, hard, scary moments or being more vulnerable with my words about how I felt in those moments too, and sharing my treatments. And for those who aren't familiar, I had started ketamine infusion therapy, which helps allegedly retrain neural pathways in your brain, and as well as TMS, which is transcranial magnetic stimulation, which does the same thing. And it's like a big helmet on your head that basically produces like stimulation and like electrical magnetic shock in your brain to stimulate the areas of your brain that aren't producing the right neurons and aren't firing properly. And it's scary to push post on some of that stuff. There is this weird kind of barrier a little bit when you have a large following, I think, that helps you not like get away with it, but it's like, okay, she can do that because it's purposeful, where like maybe somebody else who doesn't have that following would feel even weirder because it's just your close friends watching. But like every single time I post this to strangers, which seems easier to me, is I think the point I'm saying, like, it seems easier to me to share with strangers than like, but my close friends and my close family are still there. They're still watching too. And it's all scary, but I had to do it because I just had to let other people know that like, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Like it was like in my soul, like you just have to do this.
Yeah.
I don't care how uncomfortable you are with doing it. Like somebody else, even if it's just a couple girls or a guy, somebody else like has to see this because they're sitting here in their bed, maybe without their mom and without support, and they have to see it.
Yeah.
And what's been like a really beautiful, fun thing that has blessed me in return is how much I've gotten out of it. Like, it's not just that every person that messages me that says, thank you so much, I'm not alone. Guess what? Now I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Now I'm not alone. And I never thought like I would get anything out of it, like that. But I have these like incredible conversations with my followers and people reaching out, telling me like, and close friends and family, people that I was afraid to see it more so, that are telling me, thank you so much. Like you changed my life. You inspired me like this. You helped me here. You did that, whatever. You just made me not feel alone. And the same days that I'm laying in bed, absolutely miserable, barely getting by, reading a message from someone is the same moment that I needed to remember that I'm also not alone. I'm not the only one struggling.
There truly is power in community.
Yes, there's so much power in community. Like we have to remember that it's like, we can't struggle alone, and there's like I fucking hate this, like, we will mourn suicide, but like
We won't talk
shame
about it.
and stigmatize mental health.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are we getting to suicide then, folks? How did we get to suicide? If like you're gonna go to that funeral and you're gonna be so sad and you're gonna but
post
like
pictures and paragraphs after
the,
about
but like
yeah.
And not to say like who every journey and situation is different, but like
Yeah.
we can't keep like stigmatizing mental health and then mourning suicides.
I agree.
Those can't be simultaneous.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I was going to say, like, with the community thing too, something I brought up on my podcast before is that like one of the best things I ever did was find a local support group for anxiety, depression, bipolar. And it was something that really took me out of my comfort zone. Luckily, it was during COVID, so it's on Zoom and it's still on Zoom. But so it's great. I don't have to wear pants while I'm there. No one can tell. It's, am I wearing pants right now? Who knows?
Honestly,
But
if you showed up in person, you might not have to wear pants. It's a
that
bunch
is
of
true.
mentally ill
This is the
people.
place, and this is the place to do it. They will understand. She forgot
They'll
her
be like,
pants.
she forgot her pants.
We got
Well,
it.
come on in, meeting starting.
Yeah. Let's start with the pantsless girl.
You might need to go first.
And then leave and get your pants. But yeah, going off of that, just agreeing that like those messages and stuff, like I find also messages from people who have like older, way older than I thought my page reached, messaging me about their children and like their grandchildren suffering. And and I hate the word suffer because suffering means to me usually you're in silence. And you can't suffer in silence with this because like you said, then we're mourning the loss, but we're not talking about how that person got there. You started talking about pretty much how mental illness is so taboo. And I think, there's real world and then there's social media. Do you think it's more or less taboo on social media?
I think it's less taboo on social media now. I almost feel like there's like anything, it can kind of like trend upward.
Yeah.
Like I've almost seeing like, okay, now it's popular, fine to like post about it. Which there's there's good and bad in everything. Like there's the duality of life, right? Like everybody can take everything to such an extreme and ruin it. And so it's like, like with the body positivity movement, it's like some people took that to just too toxic positivity. Like if you're not waking up every single day and you don't love your body, blah, blah, blah. Well, that is not realistic. Okay. That's not how this movement started. Let's like sit in some acceptance for a moment and just like self-love every day.
Yeah.
Is a journey.
The only thing I love every day is my dog. That's it.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not, we can't demand. You can't demand it. So I feel like there's a lot more content, and maybe it's also because what I'm putting in front of my face,
my algorithm. I always think that is this just my algorithm?
It's like maybe the Instagram is just serving this to me because it knows I need this mental health content. So I post a lot of mental health content. I see a lot of mental health content. I think it's becoming like more quote popular to share about and post about. But I don't see people accommodating for it in real life. Same. Like I feel like I can post about having ADHD, autism, and ADHD, and how I have different support needs than other people, and I have sensory issues, or have these different experiences, and it's like that can be celebrated online. People can be like, yay, thanks for sharing or whatever. And then like the second I would need an accommodation in real life, it's I'm questioned, or I'm not accommodated, or people want to be like, wait, are you actually autistic though? Yeah. Have you because I'm actually, my mom's uncle knew a doctor who was an autism doctor, and I don't think that you're autistic. And I'm like, mighty bold of you, stranger. Mighty bold of you.
Yeah.
Your balls dropped when?
Yeah.
Is that
my the biggest thing I get, and I try to I've been trying to retrain my brain with some of the messages I get, is that when I get the message, well, why are you depressed? What do you have to be depressed about? And at first it like enrages me because most of the time the answer is nothing.
And that's the very confusing
That's why
thing.
I have depression and it makes me feel guilty. But I've been telling myself recently, like, wow, they must not be mentally ill. Like you just raw dog through life. Like my husband's one of those raw doggers. He just
see, they're raw
it's
dogging
weird.
through life, and life is raw dogging us, and that's the difference.
Cream pie.
That's the
We
difference.
are getting cream
We're
pied
getting
mentally.
cream pied without consent. We have 19 kids, and we didn't want any of them, and y'all don't understand that. Okay, you're just out here living carefree, breezy lives, no anxiety,
unmedicated. What?
Like, for example, if you don't have anxiety, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't have anxiety, about a year or two ago, my mom, who is neurotypical and angel on earth, but neurotypical, not that that's a but neurotypical, but she doesn't have like the same struggles I have. She doesn't understand, but she's so she tries to understand. She does everything she can to be like understanding, whatever. But she called me. I answered my phone one day, and on the other line is my normally very freaking out, crying. And I don't hear my mom like this. Like, I don't hear my mom cry. I don't.
You're like, hello, you're supposed to be the stable one. Tables have turned. Freaky Friday.
Like, this literally, I was like, Freaky Friday? It's
Jamie
Tuesday.
Lee Curtis, excuse me.
So confused. And she thought she had lost her dog.
Oh,
one of her dogs. She was like, Bella's missing out.
Yeah.
Freaking out. So I'm like, hop out of bed. My mom lives like 30 minutes away. I'm just literally putting like my pajamas on. I was naked, putting my pajamas on to leave the house to go help her look for her dog. And on the way to her house, she finds her dog. She was trapped in the pantry. They accidentally shut the pantry door on her, and she had found a little bag of Fritos in the back, so she wasn't going to make any
living
noise.
her best life.
Yeah, having no problems. And so, they find her, and she's like, oh, okay. Oh, she's like, so then I'm like, oh, okay, great. I'm going to turn around and head home. And then in that opportunity, I was like, so you know how you have been feeling for the last like 20 minutes? Because Bella's been gone and you didn't know where she was. That's how I feel 90% of the time, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
Can't really always pinpoint it. Sometimes I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can. Sometimes I know it's this. Other times I'm not certain. But it's like a just full body panic. The insides of me have flipped around. My heart is racing, but somehow it's inside my vagina.
Yeah.
Like, that's what anxiety feels. And she's like, that's what you feel like? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, but my body had, and I was like, yes, you have physical symptoms of it. Your heart will race. My chest is tight. It's like a giant man is sitting on you. You can't breathe. And even every time I know when I have anxiety, I'm logical enough to know that I'm not actually going to die. But sometimes the physical symptoms actually last for so long and they're so intense that I do get in my head about it, where I'm like,
am I gonna die?
But am I gonna die? Because I know this actually can't be healthy. Like, this can't be good for me to be at this level for this long. My body's not made for that. But like an opportunity to explain anxiety to a neurotypical person, just your dog's missing, you don't know where they are. And that's what we feel like all the time.
Yeah.
But we don't know why. And our dog is here.
Our dog is here. The phrase I always use is I feel like I need to jump out of my own skin. And I had a follower like message me that verbatim once. And I was like, I know you like messaged me to like thank me, but thank you for saying that to me, because that's what I've been saying for the past 15 years of my life. And like, that's
you see me. You see me.
You see me. And we are not alone. And more people feel this way, but some people can articulate it better than others. Me, I just make noises and like cry.
Yeah, I know. I'll scream, and I will just scream and cry. It's absurd the way that like my mental health will allow me to behave. I know. I'm like imagining like the time like 2 weeks ago where I was like banging my head up against the wall in the bathroom, and I'm like, You're a grown up.
Yeah. No, 100%. Like I'll be like filing my taxes, like wanting to scream and stuff and driving a car. And I'm like, how did I make it through the 31 years?
Like any little minor inconvenience could really just ruin my whole day. Never know. You never know.
Yeah. And once you like find those like angels in your life, like your mom, like they're the true ones. I have a mom like that too. I remember like nights in college where I look back on it now, I was actually going through psychosis and I just was under the impression that like everyone was always dissociating and in psychosis, but I never like verbalized it. And then I finally did when I was like 25 or 26 to a psychiatrist. And she's like, so that shouldn't be happening.
Here's some Abilify.
Get ready to gain 30 pounds, but you'll feel good.
You're gonna feel better. Yeah. No, it's honestly really scary. And there's this scary thing where you're like, why can't I control my own like brain?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you feel like sometimes that gives you almost a little bit of like a superpower to try to control other things in your life in a safe way? Not like
honestly, I'm starting to like, here's the thing about our thoughts though. And like, we really are like, we are energetic, like we are energy, like the universe, we're always passing energy. Right. And in any way you want to phrase it, like I grew up, like, as we've mentioned, Bible Belt in the Christian school.
Yeah.
So when I grew up, you hear, oh, tongue has the power of life and death. That's in the Bible. Tongue has the power of life and death. But then as you grow and hear exposed to like the secular world, there's just another way of always saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we are truly actually so powerful as people, like our brains and our energy and like the frequency that we have. It's like we're so powerful. And I think what is the downfall of people that struggle with our mental health is that we get so caught up in a negative loop of thoughts that it just kind of perpetuates more negativity. But like the way that I can manifest some shit, bitch.
Yeah.
I am telling you, I said on a podcast one time, I was a guest on a podcast one time, and I said, I don't even remember saying this. The clip got sent back to me later after the manifestation came true. I said, there is not a world in which I am not driving a pink G-Wagon in the next 2 to 3 years.
There
Facts.
She is.
There is just not a world in which, because that is my reality. There's not a world in which. And I said that on my friend's podcast. And then 2 to 3 months later, I had a white G-Wagon with custom pink seats.
And
my friend saw my post about my car, which by the way, I had to make because I bought it as a tax write-off.
I always hear that with the G-Wagons.
Yeah, if your car is more than 6,000 pounds and you buy it for your business, you can write it off in its entirety. It's a great tax. It's a great government hack.
Loophole.
Okay? Great government hack. Follow me for more government hacks. Okay. But yeah, she sent me the clip and she's like, bitch. I was like, so I don't know. I think that truly, yes, I am powerful. I think ADHD brains have so extra powerful. Magic in them. There 100%. Is something about it. We are magic brains.
Yeah.
We have superpowers. And generally, because we can ruminate more, I think our manifestations can be even more powerful.
I agree.
But we just have to get off the negativity. And that's our main challenge. But if you can, the thing is if you can like ruminate on something negative, you can ruminate on something positive.
Yeah.
If you can imagine a negative reality, and like, that has been my challenge the last month, have been getting rid of negative thoughts.
It's retraining your brain and your patterns.
And I'm like, if you can just keep rethinking up these what if scenarios that are so negative, why don't you start thinking of what if scenarios that are so positive? Because what if?
Yeah.
Like that would be so much cooler if that came true, right? No? Yeah.
100%. No, I love that. And I can't wait to tell you something after we're done recording this episode that I can't talk about yet.
Did you manifest something
I
powerful?
so powerful. Like 10-year-old me can't believe it. But no, I totally agree.
so
And I
proud of
think
you.
also the duality of like constantly, at least from my opinion, like being so low at times. And it's kind of like I tell guys to fuck off all the time. So you know what? I'm gonna tell my depression to fuck
Fuck
off.
off.
Is it still
Yeah.
gonna feel terrible when I drag myself out of bed? Do I have to force myself to like brush my teeth even? Absolutely. But I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna like feel like I just won 100,000 or $100 million just by brushing my teeth. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Honest
I'm-
to God, today
Yeah.
I woke up and I was like, ugh, annoyed at waking up. I
Yeah.
didn't sleep last night. I was like, I had tried my laptop last night and I knew I had technical difficulties and I was like already ready for like a day of just frustration.
Yeah.
And but I just refused to have a bad day because I had looked forward to this with you so much that I was like, I'm not going to let something take that away from me.
Yeah.
And I put my feet on the ground because I watched something on Instagram last night that said like, don't trust how you feel when you're still laying in bed. Your body needs to be in movement. So get your feet on the ground.
Okay. Yeah.
And then start kind of like assessing the day. And you've
Your
probably
body, food, and water. Like that's
Yeah,
usually my thing.
yeah, like let's get some water in the body. Like let's feed the brain. And you may have seen this like hack. I've seen it a couple times on Instagram now, like manifestation or like affirmation hack. But this was like a different spin on it. And the girl was like, get your feet on the ground, get some water in your body, go straight to the bathroom, brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand.
Ooh.
Because it's what it's doing is similar to what like TMS does and like ketamine therapy. It's introduced, you're doing something different than what you normally do. So it's creating a new neural pathway in your brain.
Yeah.
And that's a really good time to manifest is when you're doing something different and creating new neural pathways. So if you're not
should I start giving my husband hand jobs with my left hand?
Your left hand. And then
Okay,
when
thank
you're
you.
doing that, make sure you're manifesting though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you have to do it simultaneously. And it doesn't really matter if he's having a good time or not. It's
Yeah,
not
no, we
about
don't care
him.
about that. No, not
It literally
at all.
doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah, this is about you and your manifestations. And then you like look yourself in the eye in the mirror and you, I love you.
Yeah.
Like really tell yourself like, I love you. Like you're safe. I love you. And I'm like, I kind of felt like a crazy person because I was really doing this. And then I looked in the mirror and you kind of do whatever your higher thing is, like love, light, God, universe, higher self, whatever you want to say. So like, God, I am excited for all the miracles you have for me today.
Yeah.
And I was like, peace. And
I love that.
And honestly, I've had a great day so far. And I brushed my teeth, which I don't even always brush my teeth. And again, I think that should be celebrated.
Did you hear, it was like a couple years ago, there was like that trending audio going around where it was like, oh my God, did you ever hear that people with depression, sometimes it gets so bad they don't brush their teeth? And then the girl's like, people's depression gets so bad they kill themselves. And it's like,
no, I haven't heard that, but LOL.
I'll send it to you if it pops up now because my phone's probably listening.
Yeah, it'll probably pop up for me too. And
no, I love good self-talk, especially when you're feeling shitty. And sometimes for me, I need to like explain to myself in my brain, like, okay, if my best friend was having a shitty day, I would like go up to her and be like, you are a fucking queen. You are a badass. If you need to sit around and cry, let's do it. But we're going to go on a walk. We're going to have good food. We're going to order sushi. Why can't I do that to myself?
It's hilarious
Why don't
how
we do
much
that?
We are willing to do for others and not us. Anytime my friend says something negative about herself, do you know what I say? Don't talk about my friend like that.
Yeah.
Don't talk about my friend like that. I don't want to hear that about my friend.
100%.
But guess what? I talk shit about myself all day long. You know who's not stopping me? Me.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
So bizarre.
I'll allow it. It's so bizarre. I'm having a bad day. I don't feed myself. I don't care for myself. But if my friend needed me, I'm like, babe, I'm ready.
I got you. Do you journal? Are you a journaler or writer?
A little bit. I prefer writing to like ever typing things.
Yes.
So
do they see these nails? I ain't typing
anything.
No.
So like my my work life structure is truly chaos. We've got just notebooks galore with who knows what.
Yeah, you got to put like air tags on all of them.
Yeah, with labels of which one means what. It's a chaos.
Obviously, the green one's the science notebook. Everyone knows that.
Obviously, math is red, right?
Yeah, duh.
Thank you. I had a big debate with a friend about that recently, and I was like, okay, no,
honestly, grow up.
Math red danger. Okay, are we not aligned here?
No.
This is weird. But yeah, I've been trying to write gratitudes more, like just what one of my favorite singers in the song, and I posted the lyrics the other day. And I'll probably butcher him a little bit, but he says, the days that my gratitude is higher than my expectations, I have really good days.
I like that.
And it's just such a simple, like, so simple.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if we're just grateful for the things we have, like, I bet we'll start having more things.
Yeah.
That's how the universe works.
I believe it. Oh my God. This has been such a beautiful conversation.
It really has been.
I love it.
I love us.
I love us too. I love me and I love you. What advice do you have for someone who's just really going through it?
Honestly, pray. And that's that. No one was expecting that from me. Actually, here.
Maybe you guys can't tell, but I mean, I'm gonna put clips online, but she's holding this teeny tiny microphone, and I'm trying to take her seriously the entire time, but she's holding it with 2 fingers.
I am a walking parody right now. I'm wearing a "Let Me Pray About It," my own merch shirt, ironically, and it's a parody microphone. And like what I mean by that is just like whatever that means to you, again, like universe, angels, God, whatever, like ask for guidance, like ask for healing, ask for help. Like I feel like I've tried every medicine under the sun. I've tried every treatment under the sun. I was paying $360 every day for TMS and $960 every day for the days we did ketamine infusion. And I was doing that 3 to 5 days a week for months.
So what we mean is buy her merch. Okay,
buy my merch, subscribe to my podcast. I didn't work for the whole last year. I didn't have income. Like your girl's been down.
Yeah.
Down bad.
And especially having like a social media presence, so many people, which there are, and this isn't everyone, but because a lot of people do understand, but it's like, if you turn on the TV and your favorite TV show is not on, you're like, oh, I wish it was on. And it's like, well, where's Elena? Why isn't she being funny and bright? But then the times, at least I've experienced the times when I am bubbly and bright doing XYZ going out, and it's like, but I thought you were depressed.
That one's a tough one. And that's tough because it's like there is so much duality in life. Like I'm allowed to, have fun in the moments that I have fun.
And almost extra celebrate because you feel like leaving the fucking house.
Yeah. And some of those moments, honestly, like I wasn't even having fun. I had an obligation to be somewhere and I am fully masking.
Yeah.
And I will fool you to high heavens that I'm having the best time. I will pour out every last bit of good energy I have and go home completely depleted and crumble and recover for 3 weeks. And because I did party during, and honestly, that probably hindered me a bit in my healing journey. But yeah, there is so much duality in life. Like you're allowed to live and struggle and laugh and cry in the same day. Like you're just allowed. It's okay to do all of it. You can be sick and still have fun. You can find moments of happiness in your struggle. Like that's what you should be doing. And you shouldn't have any shame around it. And if somebody gives you an attitude, you can give it right back to them.
100%. I'm so sick of people like
call them a loser.
So right before we started recording, I was telling Elena that I went to the Buffalo Bills Miami game at Miami this past weekend. And if you know about going into like stadiums and stuff, there's usually some sort of someone or something preaching before you go in. So I was lucky to walk by the hardcore Christian preacher with the megaphone, and I hashtag Catholic trauma. I'm that girl. But so he has this
Mhm.
megaphone. He is not even 2 feet away from me screaming. So I like, do what anyone with sensory overload would do. I was plugging my
It's like,
ears. Yeah,
ow.
awful. And he goes, yeah, it is loud. You know why it's loud? And then he looked me straight in the eyes and goes, because you're a loser. You're a woman and you're miserable. And I was like, how do
That's
you know
why
me? Wait,
that's why
what?
nobody wants to pray. I'm on here like, guys, I bet Jesus and God maybe would help you. But then there's people like that are like, you're a loser.
Like, get rid of the megaphone and get a
That's
tiny
not good for
microphone.
it's
No.
not good for the message, bro. Get a
No.
tiny microphone and lead with love.
Yes,
Okay?
100%.
Tiny microphone,
Like, I
lead
would have
with love.
danced with him if he wanted to dance, but after that attitude, absolutely not.
No.
He doesn't
No.
deserve that.
It's just, you can just love people and it's okay.
Yeah, I
They
totally
don't
agree.
they can even be losers. You
Yeah.
can love them from afar.
And the craziest part was that was the second time that day I was told I was a loser by a stranger. So
Oh, what'd you do to earn the first one?
I was wearing a Bills jersey,
I'm gonna go ahead and agree with them.
but we won. So who's the real loser now, Miami?
Miami.
I know, right? It was so fun though. What do you hope to see change? Like, especially in social media. I know that's just like our platforms and stuff, but I feel like with the upper coming generations, I think it's actually kind of cool that so many adults, I mean, I guess I'm considering us adults, even though like if I got pregnant right now, it'd be a teen pregnancy.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, so seeing so many people talk about it, like sometimes I look back and I like wish I was 13, seeing someone like you talk about what you're going through.
Yeah, I do too, man. That could have changed my life,
Yeah.
like my whole life.
We had chicken soup books. Wait,
Chicken soup for the soul.
I just remember that I'd be laying in bed just crying about things that, like, I don't know. It didn't
Reader's
help.
Digest.
It didn't help.
Yo, gosh, shout out to Chicken Soup for the Soul. Like, I
Yeah.
dead ass might have like a Chicken Soup for the Soul lingering in my.
Oh,
in
my mom has like 17 at her house. Yeah.
Oh,
Have her
Eugenia.
mail them.
Eugenia definitely has some at her house. I might have to check out. Honestly, there's probably some good little golden nuggets in there.
100%.
But yeah, no, I mean, I love that there is such a culture now to where like people are talking about it, and obviously we have a ways to go. Like I'm still sitting here bashing the stigma around mental health and not celebrating how far we've come. Like we've come so far.
So far.
I would love to see more men talking about it.
Yeah.
I think women are chatting about it, and that's easier to do.
Mm-hmm. But men, they go through so much.
What's different? Like they have depression, they have anxiety.
Yeah.
Who's talking about it? Sorry.
You're totally fine. You're just choking on your little microphone.
Yeah. I normally don't choke on him when they're this small, but
I know. You're just trying to make him feel good about himself.
Yeah, babe, it's so big. Sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. Yeah, I would love to see men talking about mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, they're struggling with it, but they're not talking
and
about
getting
it.
supported once they do talk about it, because just like women, they deserve it. Everyone does.
Yeah, and I feel like they suffer in silence so much more. And like at least women friendships, we feel more comfortable maybe talking to each other, and we have women influencers and content creators that are posting about it. But like I just feel like men are just, if they're struggling, I feel like they're struggling alone, and it hurts me. If you're a man and you happen to be listening to this and you need support, reach out.
Honestly,
I'm not a man, but I'll help you as much as I can.
Also, and like you were saying earlier about pressing like that post button, like we're not saying like obviously like just post about it right away. I mean, it does take that. You need to feel good about posting it. Like don't freak yourself out even more. But like once you do that, I want to say 9 out of 10 times for my honestly 10 out of 10 times for my experience, it was never regretted at all. And
then
it starts a conversation.
Maybe this is encouragement for like literally everyone listening. Like you don't have to be an influencer or a content creator or have a following to share your life.
Yeah.
It's still important. You still are an influence to those around you. And like I said, some of the I shared a message on my Instagram story last night,
I
and
saw it. Yeah.
it was so impactful. And that was from a friend.
Yeah.
That was from
Wow.
someone that I would have maybe been more nervous for them to have seen my content.
Isn't that weird that we do that?
It's so strange that I'm like, oh, well, I mean, it's like, okay, a stranger, I don't know you. So I don't have this.
Yeah.
I don't have a perception of you perceiving me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know you. I don't know your existence.
Yeah.
So I'm so afraid of being perceived, in some ways, but I can't perceive you perceiving me because I don't know.
I don't know who you
are.
I
don't know who you are.
Yeah.
But once we start putting faces to names and relationships and associations and acquaintances, oh, you work with this person, whatever. It's like, oh, I'm going to have to see them again in real life. Like,
yeah.
It starts to get a little awkward. You feel like, oh, are they going to talk about me? Like, why is so-and-so posting about this? And that's exactly what I put up on my story last night. Because some people still will come in my DMs and be like, Elena, why in the hell are you crying on the internet? You look like a dumbass.
Yeah.
But then the next message I get is, Elena, thank you so much for posting this because I needed this. It got me through this terrible night and this, that, whatever. And I'm like, that's my why. I don't
100%.
1,000 people can make fun of me. 10,000 people can make fun of me. But if one person said, that got me through the night, okay.
My life. I did it. Yeah.
I did it. I'm happy. I'm good. And then that got me through too.
Yeah.
But ironically, that person that sent me that message is a friend and someone I know, and they were inspired. So it's just like even the greater fear of the thing that I was
anxiety
post, like the anxiety, the thing I was most anxious about posting was still a blessing. It still was a blessing.
Yeah.
So like, if you're a man, if you're a person with a following, without a following, and you struggle and you feel called to share for whatever reason, I think it's so important for us to be open about our lives. Yeah, just trust your gut because
100%.
somebody else might need to see it, and it literally might change somebody's life, and it might change yours too.
Yeah. I don't know if you have ever gone through this, but for me it took a while to ever be able to like verbally say I'm depressed, I am anxious. I mean, I still struggle with it too. Like sometimes there's times when, and it's always when I'm really, really depressed. Like right now I'm in a pretty good, I'm pretty stable today.
Cheers, same.
Cheers to stability.
Love to see it.
So when I am like in those depressive episodes, sometimes I can't get myself to say I am depressed. And so I just tell my husband now, like he's my first go-to. I just say my brain doesn't feel good. And like he knows. Obviously that works, but like it gets me thinking about like all the things I used to share with my friends. Like, yo, I met this stranger in the back of his Honda and sucked his dick and took a pill off the floor and did X, Y, and Z. But I struggle to tell that same person that I am having debilitating anxiety and thoughts of suicide.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yes.
Why is that taboo there? It's so insane. Like I'll say insane things, but I can't say I'm sad.
Yeah.
What? The brain is insane.
Put a carrot in my butt on the internet.
Yes.
I put a carrot in my butt on the internet.
But we can't say like, we're sad.
We can't say like, man, I was like, I that honestly, this is even a call out to me right now. Like I haven't said I was suicidal this year. Yeah. Last year in 2023. I haven't said that. Yeah. Like I really haven't. I haven't. Why haven't I said that? Like, because I was. It's a scary thing. Like I was suicidal last year. I put a carrot in my butt though. You see that on my Instagram. Yeah. But like instead I'm like we do the semantics. We like dance around it to try to like make
others feel comfortable.
Why? About it. But like I'm like, yeah, I was in a dangerously low place or like, suffering really severely. And it's like, no, my mom thought that she was going to bury me. Yeah. Like truly. Like that's where we were at. And like, why can't we be honest about that? It's like the lack of our ability and our willingness and the shame and the stigma and the combo platter of it all is what leads to the continued like problems and ultimately demise of humans.
I'm like smiling as you're like saying these like sad things, but the true things. But I'm just thinking like, you're going to change so many lives. Like just listening to you talk like on top of everything you like post every day and stuff. And like, you're going to make a difference. And I'm so obviously excited that we've connected, but
I
I'm
hope
so
so.
excited to see you like, just to see what you do. See what you, your G-Wagon, and your bag of carrots do. And your tiny microphone.
We're going to change the world, baby.
We are.
Both of us are.
Well, I appreciate you so much for not only chatting with me today, but like before noon. I was like, wow, we have she's the boss bitch. No.
She's a morning glory queen.
I love
the rooster
that.
crowed and I said hello.
The sun is up and so is Elena.
I had so much fun. I just adore you. This is the best.
You.
And I need to have you on the Miscellaneous podcast.
I would love to. I am currently trying to figure out a little Texas spring road trip action. So I will let you know.
Yeah, it is written. I'm manifesting it.
Let's do it. But yes, everyone, make sure you go listen to the Miscellaneous podcast after this. Elena, where can they find you? What's your address, your social security number, and mother's maiden last name? Go.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. So I'll start with my Instagram and then we'll get into all of that.
You can find her at Chili's.
Hell no. We're Applebee's girlies now.
Yeah.
So you can find me on Instagram at Elena Davies, ElenaDavies, and then everything is pretty much linked in my Instagram bio. I have a podcast Instagram page, and then I have a link tree. But my podcast is the Miscellaneous Podcast. It's everywhere you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. So I'm like pretty great. You might like it.
Love it. Check
it out.
Definitely go watch it.
Everyone, I've got some cool merch. So you can shop that as well.
We love cool merch. We love supporting women in the arts here.
We do. We love supporting small businesses. So, shop local.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening today. I always forget to plug this, but if you can take a minute and go give me a 5-star rating, I don't do ads. So say thank you by giving me 5 stars, right? I think that's fair.
So, super fair.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see you guys. Talk next week. Bye.